Now, what is leadership? Leadership is the ability of a person to influence others towards the accomplishment of common objectives without using formal authority. Leaders establish directions by creating a vision of the future and getting people to go along with it without having to use authority or convictions. Fundamentally, leadership is about influencing and changing behavior by tapping into unlimited human potential and turning it into desired results. Now, touching relevance onto the broader world. Leadership is relevant in organization as well as in the broader world. Indeed, how well we understand and apply leadership in every aspect of our lives ultimately determines how successful and significant our lives become. Now, what is our goal with this presentation, you'll ask? Well, our goal with this presentation is to present to you one of the most popular leadership styles. We will do this by comparing theory through empirical evidence and practice through a case study and an interview to prove the effectiveness of that leadership style and the contribution it can have on overall organizational success. Why is leadership so important? Well, leadership is important and relatable because organizations worldwide are currently facing a colossal challenge. That is globalization. Globalization is the growing economic interdependence of countries worldwide through the increasing volume and variety of cross-border transactions in goods, services, and international capital flows, and also through the more rapid and widespread diffusion of technology. Effective leadership skills are a means for organizations to remain competitive and to thrive in this globalized context. Now, how does leadership lead to effective organizational functioning? Well, leadership targets organizational behavior. The Hawthorne studies have pointed out the importance of the social factor in the workplace. Now, how does leadership lead to effective organizational functioning? Well, leadership targets organizational behavior. The Hawthorne studies have pointed out the importance of the social factor within the workplace. Leadership styles affect this social factor in the way that effective leadership skills reduce attrition rate, improve organizational commitment, improve work performance and worker productivity, leading to worker satisfaction and therefore effective organization functioning and organizational success. What are the main theories? So there are two main types of leadership styles, that is to say, two behavioral approaches. There's the transactional approach and the transformational approach. So transactional leadership is the ability of a leader to influence the employees towards a more effective performance of their current objectives, where the appeal is generally to the lower order needs of the employees. Transactional leadership is primarily based on setting clear and accurate goals for the employees, as well as using the method of rewards or punishments in order to encourage them to effectively achieve their current objectives. Since employees are driven by rewards and not intrinsically motivated, it does not stimulate them to explore for knowledge or push them to generate new ideas and innovations. Some would even argue that followers of a transactional leader don't have a sense of real responsibility within the company. Therefore, their motivation and creativity is negatively impacted. Because of their reliance on rewards to motivate employees, the long-term power of transactional leaders is dependent on how well they are able to reward their employees at the completion of the task. If they do not follow through with their promises, their leadership authority will be diminished. The second theory we'll be presenting today is transformational leadership, which is the ability of a leader to inspire the employees towards acceptance of a new value system and accomplishment of goals and objectives, where the appeal is normally to the higher order needs of the employees. As well as being very good transactional leaders, transformational leaders have several other qualities, such as intellectual stimulation, individualized consideration, idealized influence, inspirational motivation, and charisma, which we'll be discussing in a minute. Transformational and transactional leadership are not polar opposites. It is argued that their leaders can use both and that these two leadership styles complement one another. This is due to their commitment to the leader, their intrinsic work motivation, their level of development, or the sense of purpose or the mission that drives them to excel beyond the standard limits. It is argued that transformational leadership creates intrinsic motivation, higher personal development, and a sense of purpose by tapping into their self-interest and shared values. This allows them to perform work above and beyond the initial expectations. Today, we have chosen to concentrate on transformational leadership. Intellectual stimulation consists in encouraging independent thought, innovation, and participation from the employees. Idealized influence is the ability to gain trust and respect of employees by behaving in a manner that is consistent with their values. Individualized consideration is the process of treating employees as distinct individuals and showing concern for their personal development. Inspirational motivation is the ability of leaders to encourage their employees to achieve more than what they thought were possible and to motivate them to commit to a new vision and strive for new goals that are aligned with that vision. Charisma is the ability to command strong loyalty and devotion from employees. Traits of charismatic people include self-confidence, dominance, having strong convictions in one's beliefs, and giving an impression of personal success and accomplishment. Transactional leadership equips individuals with the motivation to meet expectation, but transformational leadership empowers individuals to exceed those expectations. As to our empirical evidence on the matter, we came across an article by Jundas and Swami, cited their 2014 paper entitled Leadership Styles, which compares transformational and transactional leaderships. It states that transformational leadership has contributed to higher job satisfaction than transactional leaderships. Factors considered include leadership style, autonomy at work, job security, and workplace flexibility. With a higher job satisfaction, the firm loyalty and job performance are higher. Evidence suggests that transformational leadership contributes to having a higher internal locus of control, which means that the workers can work harder with a greater efficiency within the company.
Hi, my name is Jeff. Welcome to Psychology Today. Well, the people have spoken on which leadership icon you want on this show, and I'm here with Australia's favourite businessman, Frank Lowy, the founder of Westfield. He has been heralded as revolutionising shopping malls worldwide and building an empire out of nothing. Australia's wealthiest person in 2010 tells us exactly what has made him so successful. How are we doing, Frank?
It's good to be here.
Fantastic. So, can you give us a little background information on just how you have managed to create such a grand empire, having migrated to Australia with just the clothes on your back?
Well, I came to Australia in 1952 at the age of 22, escaping the horrors of the Holocaust. It was a period of great tragedy, but upon reflection, it really shaped my drive and determination in the years to come.
So tell us a bit about Westfield and how exactly you ran it back in just one single shopping plaza in Blacktown, 1958.
Yeah, so running this plaza, I believe that in order to effectively manage and lead a collective group of employees and shop owners, it was important to have a firm grasp on initiative and really lead from the front. Furthermore, I believe it's important to empower them with tools to also lead their own work without the need to be micromanaged.
Oh, okay. Well, did you have any concerns with empowering employees to make decisions for you, effectively sharing leadership?
No, not at all. In fact, some of the greatest ideas have generated from some of my employees. Shared leadership increases synergy, catalyzing individual strengths and motivating them to contribute to the project far more. This has also allowed my employees to develop leadership qualities, highlighting a seamless transition should they be promoted in the future, enabling both them and Westfield to reach their full potential. This is something I learned while reading research articles actually. Transformational leadership leads to greater development.
Okay. Well, for up-and-coming leaders who aspire to be just like you, what would your greatest advice be?
Have a clear vision and goal and lead by example. And it's particularly important to lead by example, to demonstrate this vision and not just talk about it. Don't be one of those leaders that just trades work for reward. By, yourself working hard towards the vision, people around you will be inspired to work with you to achieve this vision. And this not only provides them with more purpose to their work, but it also produces better work.
Oh, I see. Well, this certainly corresponds with our own research. That tells us that transformational leadership leads to greater purpose at work and performance. Did you formally study these concepts, or did you just learn? Or did you just learn from experience?
A bit of both, actually.
Of course. Well, to wrap it up, thank you, Frank, for coming in. And as our leaders can clearly see, a transformational leadership style sows the seeds for success for the leader, the employees, and the firm.
In conclusion, we examined the main two leadership styles, transformational and transactional leadership. Transformational leaders lead through values and a vision, while transactional leaders lead through an exchange of rewards and targets. Both our theoretical and real-life case studies suggest that transformational leadership produces greater results as it leads to higher commitment and higher intrinsic motivation, which leads to higher job performance, higher job satisfaction, and increased firm loyalty. Companies should consider integrating transformational leadership into their organization to improve performance, and we would recommend a 3-step process to do this. Firstly, Companies should train their current leaders on the theory required to perform transformational leadership. Leaders can be taught on how to create and articulate a vision and how to motivate team members towards this vision. A company can either develop this training in-house or outsource it. This will develop their knowledge. Secondly, companies should coach their current leaders as they implement it with their teams. Transformational leadership experts can be hired or sourced within the company to watch over these leaders as they implement this new transformational leadership and provide them with constructive feedback when necessary. This will build the implementation skill. And lastly, thirdly, companies should change their structure to reward transformational leadership. Reviews should be done on a half-yearly basis where the leaders who use transformational leadership, as judged by their direct reports and team members on a series of behavioural questions, would receive financial, political, or other rewards. This will reinforce transformational leadership throughout the organisation and for years to come. Overall, to conclude, we believe that transformational leadership should be integrated into organisations to increase performance.